All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Okay. Welcome to another session of the Kava podcast. My name is Will. You guys already know I'm the host, top vocal of this show, number one Polynesian podcast in the world. As always, welcome to our Saturday After Dark podcast where we talk about modern dating relationships 2023. Obviously, you can see we have a beautiful guest with me, but we'll definitely go right into the show and she can give you guys a quick introduction. But as always, to all the Kava drinkers out there, cheers.
Cheers.
What do you think?
It's
It's
interesting.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's okay to say
No, it's not terrible. It's
it.
just really bland.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. All right. There we go. And yeah, we have a great show for you guys planned for tonight. We have a great hot topic to discuss. Let's get right into it, y'all.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
All on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this. Just
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
no. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Must be you. Love all the freaky things you do. My love was way overdue. That's when you came out the blue.
As you guys know, we have a great show planned for you guys. As always, we have a hot topic to discuss for tonight about modern dating and relationships. As always, for everybody out there that support my channel, thank you so much for your love and support. Appreciate you guys. You guys already know what to do. Smash and press that like button. Okay. Press that like button if you love the content and see value in the content. And as always, for everybody out there, I do have my locals account. So I'm going to post my locals account on the YouTube live chat. You guys can join us. So people that really support my channel and really want to donate to my channel and to my podcast journey, that's the best way to support me is on the locals. And also one of the perks of being on my locals, if you want to talk to us directly on this podcast and be a virtual guest, you have to be a supporting member on my locals account. Okay, so I will post my locals on the YouTube live chat. And oh, my mic is low. Oh, okay. Problem with the mic. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me just test my mic. I'll test my mic with you guys. All right. Give me 1 second. I appreciate you letting me know. All right, audio. Is it better now, y'all? All right, is my mic? Let me know in the live chat if my mic is better now. You guys can hear me a lot better. Maybe it's just. All right. I'll wait for you guys to respond to let me know if my mic is a lot better. Just let me know. Let me know on the live chat. I think I fixed it. Okay, there we go. Thank you, MZ Cal.
All right.
All right, appreciate you. But yeah, we have a great topic to discuss tonight. But as always, if you want to jump on and be a virtual guest and also have a direct conversation with us on this podcast, you have to be a supporting member on my locals. Join my locals. I have exclusive content which I only post on there. You can also have a 1 hour phone call per month with me. You also can have access to my Discord chat room where you can text me, have access to text me throughout the day. And also you can be part of the shows on the Friday and Saturday shows if you want to be a supporting member. So I know a lot of you guys been following my podcast journey. A lot of you guys see me from the very beginning and all the progress I've made it so far to this point. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, I'm always trying to improve my podcast. You guys know I'm working really hard to give you guys the best quality content. So that's the best way to support me in my local so I can continually improve my podcast for you guys to give you guys the best quality content I can. All right. Thank you so much. But nevertheless, as always, let's get the live chat going. I would definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, don't forget to press that like, subscribe button. All right, I appreciate you guys. Let me pass it. To our guest. As you can see, I have a special guest here with me tonight, and she's going to join you. We're going to have a good conversation tonight.
Yes.
Let me pass it to you if you want to give everybody out there a quick introduction of yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Savannah, and I'm the owner of Bareface Beauty 101 in Hayward, California. And I am a guest tonight, and I'm so looking forward to talking about these different things because relationships are really important for everyone's well-being overall. And yeah, I'm so grateful that Will invited me here.
Don't worry. Thank you so much. And when you talk to the mic, talk a little bit closer.
Oh, okay, I'll bring it closer.
Yeah. Oh, you can raise it a little.
Okay.
All right. And Fatty, is my mic still low, Fatty? Because MC Carroll said it's working a lot better now. So I don't know for you guys. Let me everybody on the live chat, if you're watching this right now, let me know if my mic is working a lot better. Okay. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. Let me just see if I can increase the volume on my mic.
Sounds good. So they can hear us. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think your mic is working.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Tap it again. Oh, okay. Oh, no, that's flat. Okay, my mic. I think I fixed it, y'all. My mic's working a lot better now. Okay. Fatty, is my mic good now? Because I just fixed it. I think my mic is a lot better. Okay. All right. Let me just check one more time of my mic. Yeah, it's a lot better now. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I fixed it. Appreciate it, Fatty. Thanks for letting me know. But I had a problem. My mic is a lot better. Okay. All right, thank you, y'all. Let's get right into it. We have a great show planned for you guys. As always, we have a great topic to discuss for you guys. And I appreciate you guys all supporting me and always watching my shows. And don't forget, if you want to jump on and be a virtual guest on this podcast, you definitely have to join my Locals account and be a supporting member. In the last 30 minutes of this show, you guys can join us, okay? But let's get right into it. You guys already know the topic we're going to discuss tonight. All right. Should women make men prove themselves to be worthy before sex? Okay. All right. So let me play a video. So I have a video that I'm going to play and we're going to react to it. It's a video that I saw that went kind of viral on social media.
Okay.
All right. It relates to the topic we're going to discuss tonight. And as always, Savannah, thank you for making the time. Shout out to Savannah real quick. All right. Shout out to Savannah for taking the time to be part of the pod. We did have a panel. Planned, but there was some problems with the other guests. They weren't able to come and attend the pod, which is okay. But shout out to Savannah making the time. And man, she was hustling out there today, and she still made the time to be part of the podcast. So it's a much great honor to have you on the pod.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we're gonna have some good discussions tonight.
Nice.
All right. Whether we agree or disagree.
Okay.
All right. So let's get right into it, fellas. Ladies, let's have a great show for you guys. So let me play this video. It relates to the topic that we're going to discuss tonight, and let me know what you guys think. As I play the video, let me know what you guys think, and as you guys react to it, okay? So let me play the video right now.
Typically expect a man to commit before she's willing to give him sex?
Depends. Times are changing. Now it's like you can people just sleep with whoever.
That's that female sexual empowerment. Bro, it's not empowering at all. It devalues you in the eyes of men that are trying to find a wife. Why would you commit to the town bicycle that's getting rode by everybody? It's nuts.
Okay, I'm gonna play that video one more time for us because the audio wasn't working for us. Okay, So let me play the video and you can watch it.
Don't women typically expect a man to commit before she's willing to give him sex?
Depends. Times are changing. Now it's like you can people just sleep with whoever.
That's that female sexual empowerment. Bro, it's not empowering at all. It devalues you in the eyes of men that are trying to find a wife. Why would you commit to the town bicycle that's getting rode by everybody? It's nuts.
All right, so that's the video. So that's the video I saw that went online, okay? And okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so the topic, you already know that's the topic we're discussing. Obviously, we live in 2023, and I'm sure you see, Savannah, that the dating culture today is totally not the same as it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, where our parents were, our great-grandparents were still dating, right?
Yes.
All right, so it's a little bit different. We have hookup culture, we have situationships, we have Tinder, we have apps. But it's an interesting conversation to have because at the end of the day, I do believe both men and women, people crave connection.
Yes.
People crave relationships.
Yes.
People don't want to die alone. People want a partner, a good partner to be able to spend the rest of their life with, right? And build a family and have children and live a great and fulfilled life, right?
Exactly.
So obviously that's I believe obviously deep down in everybody's core, men and women, that's what we seek, that's what we're biologically created to do. But we live in a time where people just want to have fun and people just want to go out there and do whatever they want to do, because traditionally back in the day, and we talked about this before early in the podcast, traditionally back in the day where our great grandparents lived, traditionally men had to prove themselves, right? They had to prove themselves. They had to meet your father. They had to meet your family. They had to make sure that they're committed. The family had to vet him out to make sure that he was a good man, good values, reputation, good principles. Of course, he can provide and protect for you.
Exactly.
All right, that he wasn't just some random bum off the street. All right, and once they were able to vet him out, and of course it was committed to you that he wanted to marry you and he wanted to have children with you, then he had access to you.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Then he was worthy. Like a man had to prove himself worthy before he had access to you.
Yes.
All right. Not only to you, but also to your family. Okay. So now we fast forward to 2023. It's men don't really have to prove themselves anymore. Right. We have hookup culture, we have Tinder, we have situationships. It's a lot more different. You know, obviously there's people out there having children before before getting married. So it's a different culture today, but I do hear from both, especially from a lot of the women, especially after they get intimate with the men, they always complain about how a lot of these guys have sex with them, but they don't stay around or they don't give them commitment after.
Right.
All right. And a lot of these guys will use them, manipulate them, get what they want, just get after being intimate. And then they won't give them the relationship and the commitment, or they end up being a very toxic person that can, really make your life a lot harder. All right. So, but yeah, that's the conversation we're gonna have today. So that's just the video that we're playing. So let me pass it back to you. After watching that video, what's your reaction, and also what are your thoughts about the topic at hand? Should women make men prove themselves to be worthy before having sex?
I don't think that women can make men do anything.
Yeah.
I think that it boils down to the core values of the man or the woman that are deciding to maybe have a relationship together.
Yeah.
So if they share similar values, maybe even cultural things, then it's easier to have that relationship together, because it's like, okay, we're on the same page. But there are times where people pretend. People pretend that they're about, a certain lifestyle, that they want kids and they want a future with you. But, in reality, they're just pretending just to gain access to you.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think that, you can't really make a man or a woman do anything.
That's true.
It's just more so, okay, this is who this person is, and either it's gonna work with who I am or not.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You mentioned it depends on the person's values and principles. Can you give me like some examples of good values and principles that women, or I mean, you look for personally, or should women look for, so that way they can make sure that this is a good quality man before having access to you?
You know, a man who has created a life for himself.
Okay.
He's shown that he's able to be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
A man who takes care of himself as far as what he eats and, you know, works out
Okay.
and things like that. Is he close with his family?
Oh, okay.
If not, what are the reasons for him being, you know, isolated from his family? You know, is he mentally sound? You know, those are things that I look for, not only in a romantic partnership,
Yeah.
but, you know, friendships and just different people that I choose to associate with.
Okay. I mean, based on what you see today, obviously, I'm sure you have friends, or just based on your observation out there. Do women really do women really look for those principles today, or those values today, before letting men have access to them?
No,
No.
no, not all the time, you know, because women today are different because the social standards are different for us now.
Yeah.
So now it's more so like, okay, a lot of women are already taking care of themselves. So
Mhm.
they're not more so looking for a provider per
Yeah.
se. So that really changes the dynamic of what we need from our male counterparts.
Mhm.
And then a lot of women have also obtained a lot of success for themselves.
Mhm.
So it kind of, I guess, would denounce the man's role in like leadership,
Yeah.
because she's always in boss mode. And so it's like when she gets with her man,
Mhm.
it's like you have to really be that guy in
Yeah.
order for her to respect you.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that the dynamics of the way that the world is ran today
Yeah.
is good. Okay, yeah, Miss, you know, independent. She has
Yeah.
all these things
Yeah.
going on, but you have to be able to have adaptability
Yeah.
with a partner,
Hmm.
you know, because if you're not able to say, okay, this is my lifestyle, this is his,
Hmm.
and now we're gonna, you know, bring our lives together and make this work, then, you know, it's never gonna work because nobody wants to give and take.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. I know we live in a very modern time, and sometimes when they look back at the traditions that we have back in the day, sometimes they think that those traditions are outdated. All right.
mhm,
I
mhm.
think one of the most important ones, because obviously when I talk to people, like, do you want a meaningful relationship? Right? Do you want somebody that's committed to you? Do you want a strong partner? And the way I see it is, if that's why I disagree with the whole hookup culture,
Right.
because the way I see it is, I'm pretty logical the way I see things. If your outcome is always going to be commitment, marriage, good partner, family, then that means that whatever your goal is or outcome you want in your life, your decisions have to align with that, right? Or
Right.
your values have to align with that.
Mhm.
That's why it confuses me when I see women that say, I want a good man, I want a good relationship, I want a good partner, I want to have a family, I want to make sure that my man is competent, good, strong leader, he can take
Mhm.
care of me. But then when I look at their decisions of how they live their lifestyle today,
Right.
it does not align with everything that they want, right?
Mhm.
So, and of course, the hookup culture, that's why the hookup culture, I don't think it's beneficial for anybody, both men and women,
Mhm.
because you're not vetting good people to come into your life to make sure that they align with the things that you're looking for long term.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the hookup culture is just short term, right?
So true.
And
Yeah.
anything you do short term, anything you just do that's easy, you don't gain anything from it.
Mhm.
Most great things in life that you want to attain is going to be a little bit difficult, and it's going to require some kind of effort.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's but the biggest one I always have conversation with women is like meeting the dad. All right.
Right.
And then sometimes when I have conversation with girls, like, I can make my own decision when it comes to a man. I don't need him to come meet my dad. That's the
Mhm.
conversation I have with a lot of the progressive women today, modern day 2023. Okay. But what are your thoughts about women should they letting their dad meet your boyfriend before you guys take it any further? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that tradition?
I think traditionally it's a good thing if you have a great father.
Yeah, great father,
You
right?
know, so that again boils down to your background and how you were raised. Was your father good to your mother?
Mm,
Because if he was not good to your mother, then, how could he vet out this man, who
yeah,
you just
okay.
met,
Yeah, that's true.
So if you do have a good father, I was raised by a great man.
Okay.
So, I remember my first boyfriend, my dad was like, no, who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this dude?
What is he about? Like, no, get him away. So, and my dad, like, he was married to my mom for my dad passed away.
Yeah.
So, they were married for 40 years
Hmm.
and he took care of her, great provider,
Hmm.
excellent morals, ethics, just a generally great guy,
Yeah.
almost like cookie cutter in a way.
Yeah.
So,
Or just a real man.
a real man,
There we go.
right? Real man.
It's a real.
So,
Yeah.
And it's like these men today don't want to be upheld to any standards.
Yeah.
Not all,
Yeah.
but a lot don't want to be upheld to any standards. So they feel like, okay, she's being difficult. Why do I need to meet your dad?
Yeah.
But when they do meet your dad, it's like, okay, if he even was open to doing that, that
Mhm.
means that he's more serious about me.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Because my dad is gonna like make sure that he's on his P's and Q's,
Yeah. And also, that's the first man in your life. So
Right.
you would want to meet the man that raised your potential wife.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to meet that person.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to meet them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just kind of it shows, who the person
Mm-hmm.
is if they are not interested in meeting any of your family,
Yeah.
your mom or your dad. And men can't stand up to other men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I will say it's also shows some sense of some assertiveness or some courage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, like meeting meeting dads is not the most always easiest thing to do,
Right.
right? Because
Right.
we all know that most dads, just the same way I'm very protective over my sisters,
Mm-hmm.
dads are overprotective.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
especially if you're both, I would say if you're both like macho men, so it's like a conflict, right?
Right.
But it's a necessary thing. But the reason why I would say that it's important to meet the father, because most girls who are very young,
Mm-hmm.
when they have feelings for somebody, they usually make decisions based on how they feel, but they don't
Right.
really look at the reality of, especially when there's red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the dad, he's not in love with you, right?
Right.
So
right.
he's not making decisions based on how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna make logical decisions of what's best for you.
Exactly.
But I think when they're really, really young, especially for both men and women, but especially for women, and they go through the honeymoon phase, and they think the man is perfect.
Yeah.
The dad is necessary to take that away and just have the real conversations. And he's gonna ask him the real questions, like, "What's your plan for my daughter?
Right.
Like,
right.
how are you gonna provide for my daughter? Okay,
Uh-huh.
where do you work? How much money do you make?
Right.
Or like, what's your plan of getting a house? Like, what is your plan?
Yeah.
All right. If he doesn't have a plan, it's like, then what are you doing with my daughter? Right.
Exactly.
Usually girls don't ask those conversations, but as men, we can really ask those conversations man to man, face to face. And we can tell, right, as men, that if you don't, the way you respond and your behavior and your body language and the way you answer those questions, we can sense like, oh, this guy is bullshitting.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
You're just here for one thing and one thing only. And I know why you're here, why you're with my daughter.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's really, 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 really important to have that. Because, or even if you don't have a father figure, like you mentioned, right? Some girls don't have a father figure, but if you have a strong masculine male, a good male, like whatever it's an uncle, whatever it's a brother, they can have that conversation with them, because it's always good to have somebody that can look from the outside in, because you're in your feelings, you love this man, or maybe especially if it's your first boyfriend.
Yeah.
So you're just in your feelings about this person. But the father, but the father would be able to take away the feelings and just have a real honest conversation and figure out like what his intentions, purpose, and plan for you. And if he does have one, just to make sure that his behaviors match it, his values match it, and you can ask him the difficult questions.
Yeah.
Right?
I like how you mentioned that you know, a lot of women, we do move off of feelings, emotions.
Yeah.
And then so the logic that comes from a male perspective, especially a man that loves you like your father, your uncles, you know, is necessary. But at the same time, the woman, or you know, she needs to be able to say, hey, my father has my best interest at heart.
Exactly.
I need to remove myself from this situation because it won't benefit me long term. Yeah.
And that's usually what I see when you have a good father. Like there's a sense of trust between you two that that you trust your father that he has the best interest for you.
Right.
Right. But he's proven that because obviously he's taken care of you his whole life. But then that's why it's so important to make sure that that same vetting process is going to be applied to that man that wants to take that role, that he's willing to provide and protect you. Right. But he's going to make sure that he's, like you said, he's on point too. But I do hear oftentimes for a lot of girls, they just think that's it's an old fashioned because they want full autonomy. But I think especially today, modern day 2023, where kids are dating younger than ever. They're not. They don't know anything about relationships. I remember like I didn't start dating until college, right? Because I lived before the social media time.
Okay.
Right. But I see now when I'm walking down the street, kids in elementary school already holding hands and earning couples, right?
Yeah.
Already having relationships in elementary school, middle school, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a whole different scene.
Yeah, times are changing for sure.
All right, but as always, I appreciate you guys watching this live chat. Let me know what you guys think on the live chat. I appreciate you guys as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get that live chat popping. And of course, if you guys have a question or topic that you guys want us to discuss, drop a super chat, right? Every single super chat. If you definitely want to donate to the channel, definitely drop a super chat, and I'll definitely read any topic or question, or we can answer any questions that you guys may have on here. I appreciate you guys. All right. Shout out to everybody on the live chat as well. All right. You guys are the best. But yeah, so let's get back to the topic at hand. So obviously, why do you think a lot of women no, this is I want to ask you this question. Why do you oftentimes when I have conversations with a lot of girls, they often think that they can live however they want to live and still find a man later on. Right? So obviously there's this I do a lot of reading when it comes to the opposite sexual attraction between men and women.
Okay.
Right. So usually for most men, what they're looking for in a woman is of course attractive woman, a woman that could have children, all right, a woman that has good values and principles within herself. All right. Obviously, most men, especially when we watch that video, you know, he doesn't want his woman going out there and just talking to every guy or sleeping with every guy, right?
Right.
When I always hear talk to a lot of men, they'll talk to a lot of women. They want men who are disciplined. But I think for a lot of men, they also want that in their women as well, that they have discipline within themselves.
Right.
They're just not allowing random men come into their life, and it shows them that you have high standards for yourself if you're willing to save yourself for a good man, right? So obviously, these are the things that men are, most men, I would say all men, but most men are looking for. Just a feminine woman, a woman that's looking to have children, looking to be a wife, looking to start a family, and be willing to be supportive of his husband. Okay, but nowadays in modern times, a lot of the women, when they make the decisions they do today, is opposite of that. But they still have this belief that they can get a man later on. But that's why it's so important. That's why having the topic, it's important for women to prove themselves, make the men worthy to prove themselves first, to make sure they're a good man, but also make sure that they can reciprocate that they're a good woman too.
Right.
Because even though the men that they have to prove themselves to be worthy of you, but these men who have good values, they're also looking for good women as well. All right. So what are your thoughts on women who want a good man, a good quality man, but they don't want to go go through the vetting process where they have to, they just want to do whatever they want, but they don't want to vet the men. But they still expect that they can always find a man later on.
So are you saying like a timeline thing?
Yeah. So, like the timeline thing, right? It's like, because statistically, if you look at the statistics, for most women, when as they get older, it's really hard for them to find a partner, because
Okay.
most women, they want to find an older man, right?
Mhm.
But the thing is, usually for most men, even if the guy's like 30, 35, 40, if he's dating a woman and if the guy wants children, wants family, he's probably going to go with a woman that's a little bit younger.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's why for a lot of women, you have a biological clock
Mhm.
to have children with a man. But the thing is, I think one of the things that hurts a lot of women today, especially today, modern times, they tell them that, hey, don't prioritize the years where if you used to find a man, you can live to 30, 35, 40, 45. And then when you're done living your life and living your however you want to live, then you can find a man. But oftentimes when a lot of women when they get to that point, they find out that's really, really hard to find a man as they get older. And they didn't really invest their time when they were in their early 20s, early 20s, to make sure they can attract a man.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of emphasis on finding a man or a woman, but more so like for women finding a good quality man.
Yeah.
But I think that most women should still live their lives as they go through the journey of finding that
Yeah.
partner,
Yeah.
because times have changed.
Yeah.
And it's important to be intentional, but there's a lot of expectations from women now. We're not just expected to have birth and give birth and raise children
Yeah.
anymore. We're expected to be college educated. We're expected to have a certain amount of money. We're expected to be beautiful and fit. We're also expected to have our own car, our own house, so it's like by the time you are establishing these things, you're already, if you start at 18, right?
Yeah.
You're already like 26.
26, yeah.
When you're done. So then it's like, okay, you want to bring on a romantic relationship during that time. Hopefully you don't slip up and get pregnant or
Yeah.
something like that. But, then it almost seems like a rush to get into something more solid. But during that whole time, maybe you're out living your life, you're traveling, you're doing different things. But I don't think that there should be so much emphasis on obtaining that partner unless you are in some type of religion where
Yeah.
it's like maybe Islam or something where your father kind of already knows who the candidates for you are
Yeah.
to be your husband. But otherwise it's a gamble.
Yeah.
Because as a woman, if we don't establish those things for ourselves and we're seeking those things from a partner, but all the while we're waiting for this man to come and make our lives livable or happy, then we have nothing for ourselves.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's an interesting one, because I understand that sentiment, right? Because for a lot of women, we live in a modern world where women can work, which is okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they can pursue a career, because you got to take care of yourself, right?
Right.
You have to be able to pay your own bills,
Right.
and make sure you can take care of yourself financially. So I understand the working part. I guess what I see today, and I guess my only disagreement with there's a movement, what I see on social media, where they encourage women to not take advantage of the years where they can be most attractive and start a family to find a man. So I think you can do both. I think what I hear from especially from a lot of what I see on social media, they tell women, hey, don't prioritize finding a man in their 20s. Go pursue that career, pursue that degree, build that business, and don't worry about men. And then once you do, complete and accomplish all the things you want to accomplish, then you will always find a man later on, and the man of your dreams will always walk into your life.
Right.
Right. And I guess my only issue with that is I think for most women typically date older men. They want a man that's older than her. Women don't like to date younger men. They want a man that's accomplished, right? So if you're an accomplished woman, you want a man that's in the same level as you or a little bit higher.
Right.
You're not going to date somebody that's lower than you, or it's not really as accomplished as you.
Right.
Right. So because you want a man that can take care of you, provide for you, and give you that security, right? But my only issue with that is the thing is, say a woman accomplishes all the things she needs to accomplish, and then she's 35.
Right.
Right. And typically she's looking for the man that she wants to date or have a family with is 35, 40. But the thing is, for most men, because we look for different things,
right?
Most men just want an attractive woman, a woman that's feminine, and a woman that's gonna be loyal, and he can have children with.
Right.
Right. And if that man that she wants is usually like the man that's very the most eligible bachelors that's available in the dating marketplace, usually he's gonna be able to attract the woman that's a little bit younger than the woman that's 35.
Right.
And usually those guys will go with the younger woman because with the way they see it is, okay, great, you started a business, that's great, but would I be able to start a family with you at 35 and have multiple kids? So that can be very difficult. So
Yeah.
I think it doesn't have to be one of the either. I think that sometimes when I hear the conversation, it's like, do you want a family or do you want a career? And I think as a woman, you can do both. Like you can build your career, and then during maybe in your 20s, just prioritize and give some time to find a man during that time. And I'm sure you can. And if you have good values and good principles, and you're very selective, you should be able to find a man during that time. But don't completely ignore men in your early 20s and think that by the time you get into your 30s or 35, that the type of, because usually women are very selective. They always want the best quality man they can get.
Right.
But the problem is usually the best quality man that you can get is usually every woman wants the same man. So it's a matter of competition. So you have like a limited dating pool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could understand that. I think it depends on what people want,
Yeah.
because every man doesn't want more children, and then if you're meeting a guy who is 40 plus, he might not want children because he usually already has children.
Yeah.
So, and then also like 2023, right?
Yeah.
You have women who are freezing their eggs.
Yeah.
You have fertility drugs. So you have men who are, they might be snipped temporarily.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different dynamics that are taking place now where, maybe 15 years ago, it's like, okay, she's 30. She's probably not going to want to have a lot of kids, but, she's putting her career first, etc. But times have changed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, look at Larissa Pippen, right? She's dating Michael Jordan's son. Okay, so that's wild, right?
Yeah.
But with science, she's able to still give him children, and he's younger. So the dynamic is different, right? She's old enough to be his mom.
Do you think that relationship between Larissa Pippen and the younger Jordan, do you think that's going to last for 40, 50 years like your parents had?
It may or may not. It depends on the relationship between the two, right?
Yeah.
Because she's very strategic. I don't know her true intentions with dealing with him or if it's true love, but for instance, she had Scottie Pippen's children, and then now, she's starting over completely with a whole nother man. So different phases of your life will require different versions of you. And, there's never like a time where you can't say, oh, I want to start over. You might be in a marriage and it lasts for 10 years and you guys divorce, you've had his children, and then you get with a new man and he wants more children from you. He wants you guys to start, a new family together. So why should you not be able to do that at 35 or, however old? So I'm just saying with science and with 2023, things have changed a lot.
Yeah, no, I get that, but if I think if you look at how much the process of freezing your eggs, I think it's pretty expensive. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
something.
15K.
Yeah, it's 15K, right?
Mhm.
But so if the women who are wealthy, which is probably like maybe the 10-20% of women,
Mhm.
they probably could afford that,
Right.
right? But then I think for more, the other 80% of women who can't afford that, I don't think that's something that's going to be like a viable option for them,
Right.
right? So, but yeah, I just it's and also for what's his name, the Jordan. I would.
Mhm.
I mean, do you think do you think genuinely they're together to build something special and commitment? Because Larissa just got out of a divorce, right?
Right.
And he's much younger
Yeah.
than her. Obviously, she's still an attractive woman.
Mhm.
I would, I would think that's probably why he's with her, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think that's something. I don't think they're together because they want to get married and they want to build something special and they want to build a long term commitment and live and be together forever.
Oh, he proposed to her.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh when? Oh wow.
Um,
But do you think?
yeah.
Oh,
So, that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with the relationship.
yeah.
Like, it's not something that I would want,
Well, it's
my
abnormal, right?
brothers
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
or
it's
something
abnormal.
like that. But at the same time, people do what works best for them,
Yeah,
So traditionally, it looks wrong. And traditionally it looks wrong, but if they're able to make it work, then that's
yeah.
them. There's other examples of couples like that. I actually have an aunt, and her husband was like maybe 12 years younger than her. So
Yeah.
it
But
just
I would
yeah.
I would call that like the exception, right? There's always the
Oh,
exception. There's always exceptions. Like a perfect example would be most women would like to date taller men, right? That's everybody knows this, even especially the short guys.
Yeah,
The short men know this, right?
mm-hmm.
So, but there's always the exception where there's a tall woman that she prefers to date shorter guys, right? But we all know for a fact that majority of women do want to date taller men. So I think that relationship dynamic between Larissa Pippen is I would call that an exception. Well, I mean, he did propose, but we'll see if that relationship lasts. You know,
Yeah.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
It's just
that's something that's interesting to watch, right?
Because for me I think when a relationship is truly uh, a good relationship, I think for me what I've seen how relationships last for a long period of time is usually when a woman is with a man that she looks up to and she respects.
Yeah.
Right, and he's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
He takes care of her. He provides for her. He's committed to her. He's loyal to her, and she looks up to him. But it's really hard for me to believe that Larissa looks up to Jordan because he's younger.
Right.
Right. She has money. He has money.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I know they're together. I don't know if she's with him out of spite because that's Michael Jordan's son, and then she knows that she just had a divorce with Scottie Pippen, and she knows that Scottie Pippen is beefing with Michael Jordan. So I don't know the story, but just with what I see of how relationships work normally for most people, where the woman looks up to the man's a masculine, strong provider, protector, and she supports him. I don't see that dynamic with her, so we'll see. But I would if I was a betting man, I would say they won't last forever.
Yeah, maybe not, but I don't know. That's a really strange dynamic in general.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not normal.
Yeah, it seems like the intentions are not good in that situation.
Yeah.
But in general, I think that another issue is that women aren't living to gain a relationship anymore or a marriage.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of fear, or being disappointed so many times from, trying with different types of men, trying to date and it not be good, so it's like, okay, I got my money, I got my career, I got my house, like I'm just gonna have fun. And I think that's where the hookup culture kind of comes in at,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, I don't need him for anything, you know? So so if you don't need him for anything, not even advice, right?
Yeah.
Because she's smarter than you.
Yeah, well, the problem with a lot of women, right? And I think it would be a great conversation to have. Is usually, especially women are very accomplished and they have a lot, very accomplished and they make a lot of money, because men and women will look for different things, right?
Right.
So a lot of times when you talk to women who are very successful
Mm-hmm.
and you ask them, what do you bring to the table to the man that you want to be to have a committed relationship with?
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes the answer they would have is exactly what you said. I'm accomplished, I have money, I have finances. But I think what a lot of women don't understand is, like, for men, we don't look for the same things that you look for.
Right.
For women, you want your man to be accomplished and have finances,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there's actually a biological reason for that. It's because since the beginning of time, when you have children, you want to be with a competent man, right? Because
Right.
when you get pregnant for those 9 months, you're not going to be physically working, so you want to take some time off, right?
Oh, it's women working.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they can. I'm not saying they can't work,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm saying is, if a woman had an option,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Would you want to work through your pregnancy, or would you be
No.
one with the competent man that can provide for you and give you absolute security
Yeah.
and comfort, that you can
Right.
just live, just be comfortable as much as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to work during pregnancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is with a lot of women is, like, when they make a lot of money, for most men, we're not looking for money is not something that is not a priority when we're looking for women.
Right.
We just want a woman that's supportive, feminine, attractive, and just be willing to be able to uh, be cooperative to my leadership,
Uh-huh.
and make sure that she respects me,
Right.
right?
Right.
But the thing is, for a lot of girls, is if you make a lot of money, then the man that you would respect is a man that's making more accomplished
That's
than you,
right.
right? But that's
Yeah.
only like a small percentage of men.
Mm-hmm.
And most men, and then the thing is, most those guys, that small percentage of men, you're competing with all the women that want the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the men that will be below you, it's gonna be hard for you to respect them because you're more accomplished than them.
Yeah.
So that's the dilemma that they face,
Right.
right?
Right.
And also understanding that money is not all men, but for a man that's already a provider protector and he can
Mhm.
provide for his woman,
Yeah.
he doesn't really look for a woman that can provide and protect him, because he can already do it on his own.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've heard women, well, I bring money to the table, I bring finances to the table. For a man that's not competent, he's looking for a woman to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe attracted to him.
Oh yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Those guys that just want a sugar mama that can take care of him.
Oh yeah.
But for guys that are competent, have done the work and they're disciplined,
Mhm.
and they have the ability to provide a protector for a woman, he's not looking for the same thing. And I think
That's right.
it's something that's, when I have conversation with modern women, uh, when I tell them your degrees and your finances, it's not something that's a man that's already in his mask and he can provide and protect you.
Right.
He's not something that he considers, because he's already bringing that to the table.
Uh-huh. That's a great point, because you said if he's in his masculine,
Yeah.
right? If he is in his masculine, it's a huge difference from a man who is not. A man who is not lacks the qualities and traits
Yeah.
that that most women are looking for.
Mhm.
But if a man is like, oh well, how much do you make, and she does this and this and that, but he isn't as accomplished, then it creates a strange dynamic in the relationship, and he will eventually start to resent her.
Yeah.
And I seen a term a while back called submissive providers.
Yeah.
And it's so many women who are taking on these roles of
Of the
providing,
provider, yeah.
and their man may not be able to provide on a higher level than her.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, when they make certain decisions, it's almost like, okay, it's her way versus his way.
Yeah.
When a man is already established, it's kind of like, okay, he's the leader.
Yeah.
And there's a certain respect that comes with that.
Yeah.
But if you are in the right partnership, then it becomes an our thing.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, it's her making this and this and that. But you know, today is always like me for
Yeah.
most people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I talk about adaptability, because you have to be able to adapt with someone in order to really make your lifestyles the best that it could be. You know, and take out the individualism of you know, take out the individualism of the relationship.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think in today's modern times we have a lot of ideologies and things that obviously we think a lot different than before. But I think what we fail to consider is our biology, right?
Right.
Even though women can work, right? Women can work. I mean, traditionally, men were the provider protectors, right? They're the ones who did most of the providing and protecting. They worked, took care of the woman, and the woman stayed home and took care of the family, right? But now, obviously, we live in 2023 where women can work and pursue a career, which is great, right? But I think from the context of having a relationship and having a family, even though women can work, but I think for most women, I'm not saying all, I'm sure there's women out there that will prefer to work their whole life. But for most women, they want to work and be independent, but as soon as they start having a family, I think most women, real biology in your body as a woman is like, I want to spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you haven't found yourself a competent partner that can do that for you, because I read a study done by Forbes. They asked a couple thousand women and who are working in a career, and there were and a lot of them were in relationships with men, but they made less than them, and asked them, hey, if you had if there was an option for you to not work and your man can take care of you, would you take that option? And I think the results said that 84% of women said, I would rather not work and just my man take care of me.
Yeah.
And then I think one out of three women said when they kept going into a relationship and they saw that their men there was no ambition to pursue a higher level so that he could finally provide and protect her fully, it created resentment in the relationship, and they couldn't respect him or respect his leadership because she can't look up to him because he's not really pursuing and making himself to become the man that she always wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I think that has a lot to do with the biology because, of course, you can work. Of course, you can go out there and make the bag, which is great. But I think there's something your natural body will tell you that as soon as you have children,
right,
you just want to bond with your kids.
Oh yeah.
And you want to spend time with your baby, especially the early years of infancy, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't want to go to work and leave your kid at home. I think there's an article I read that there's a chemical that's released in your body, or hormone, that bonds you as soon as you have a kid, and you don't want to let go of your kid.
Yeah.
You want to be with them. So it's really, really hard for a lot of women to go back to the workplace as soon as they have children. You would rather just be with your kids and just raise your kids.
Right.
But that's why it's always good to have a competent man, a good man, to make sure that he can take care of that responsibility and duty, but not just have like the topic we're discussing. Should women make men prove themselves to be worthy before sex?
Yeah.
They should, right? Because what is the purpose of sex? Is procreation, is having kids and having a family.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest problem today is I believe in intention. I believe with purpose, right? Everything we do, there has to be some intention and purpose. What is the intention? What is the purpose of having sex? Is have kids and having a family. What is the purpose of dating? Relationships, commitment, marriage, right?
Right.
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 But the thing is, if you don't date with purpose, if you don't make decisions with purpose, with a specific goal, then you end up just making random decisions and attracting outcomes that you didn't really want because you didn't make the decision specifically to go towards one direction.
True.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Because if your purpose is I want to build a family and I want to have a long lasting relationship,
Mhm.
right? You're not going to go out there and just sleep around because it doesn't align with what you want,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Because the more you sleep around, the more risk of you having sex with somebody that may not be a good partner, right?
Mhm.
Or you having obviously they might abandon you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They don't want the responsibility to be a father,
Uh-huh.
you know. So those are the risks that comes with it, or maybe somebody that's just using you, manipulating you,
Exactly.
all right.
Yeah.
Or the worst case scenario, you know, they can be violent or they can assault you, you know,
Mhm.
be a very toxic relationship. So so that's what happens when you don't have purpose or goal that you can make decisions towards you. Then you end up end up making bad decisions that attract a lot of the consequences that a lot of women are facing today, and they're complaining about where are all the good men.
Yeah, yeah. But I think another thing too is like, you have to be a good woman to attract a
Of
good
course,
man.
of course.
So if you are carrying yourself in a certain way, or you still need to work on yourself as far as like morals, ethics, values, different things like that, then you get this guy and he's a joker. Let's just call it that,
Yeah.
right? He's a joker, and you're wondering, oh my God, why do I keep attracting these kind of guys? But you're not doing the self work that will allow you to even, entertain the higher value
Yeah.
type of men. So, so that's a huge thing. It's like, okay, yeah, most women want these types of guys, but they're not the type of women that
Of
those
course.
men are
Yeah.
attracted to. So it's not really a one size fits all
Yeah.
scenario. That's why these topics are so like
Sensitive, right?
yeah, sensitive, because it's like it can go either way.
No, the craziest thing I always hear from a lot of, especially the younger girls, right? If you listen to what women, I remember if I find a video, I can play it. But there's a video where they showed an interview of women back in the 50s or
Uh-huh.
40s or 30s. I can't remember, but I know it's old because it's black and white.
Okay.
All right. But they asked the women, like, what do you want in a man?
Uh-huh.
And they said they want a man that's strong, provider, protector,
Mhm.
a family man, good morals, good values,
Right.
loves God.
Right. Right.
And then you fast forward today, 2023,
Mhm.
right? What do you want in a man, right? And the response I hear from the young girls, oh, he's funny, he's cute, you know, he has the vibes, you
Uh-huh.
know, what's it called today? The Riz, you know,
Right.
get the Riz.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, he makes me laugh, you know,
Mhm.
he's good looking, he works out at the gym, he makes me feel good, he's romantic.
Yeah. Right.
The problem with that is like he makes you laugh. All those qualities that the young girls explained has
Mhm.
nothing to do with being has nothing to do with a man that's going to be able to provide for you and take care of you, you know, and make sure that he's committed to you and make sure that he's going to take care of you and your children,
Right.
right?
So let's just say that there's no children in the picture,
Yeah.
right? And she doesn't need a provider. So then I think that the women look at the personality and character traits more often, because they're not seeking the providership. They're not seeking the children from the man. So if that's out of the equation, then it's like, what do I need from him?
Well, the thing is, I think most women are looking for a man that can provide and protect.
Mhm.
There's only I think most women, they want a man that can take care of them. You don't agree?
I think it's changing. That's just based on, like, I have a lot of girlfriends and family and, social media,
Yeah.
whatever. So I think it's changing because, I always say, like, how do you expect someone to rise to low expectations, right?
Mm.
So a lot of these men have made the bar low, right? It's like, okay, she needs to be doing this and this and this and that. And here I go, and we're doing 50-50 everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if we're doing 50-50 everything, then I need them to at least have a good personality. So it's just the need from your partnerships
Yeah.
are changing.
but I think that's where a lot of the things that we hear today, and uh, I think it's confusing a lot of women of actually what they really want.
Mhm.
Because if you ask women, I think biologically to your core, I think most women would want a strong masculine man that can love her and provide and protect her, right?
Yes,
Emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually,
I
sexually,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
Mentally, right?
Mhm.
I think that's what most women want, right?
Mhm.
But I know we live in a very different society today where everything can be equal,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But I think even though we are equal, but I think we're different,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
I think that's one of the problems with the ideologies I hear today that they tell women, hey, you can be 50-50, and you don't a man doesn't have to take care of you anymore. And the reason why a lot of these guys aren't stepping up to the plate, because you just mentioned it, right, there's a lot of low expectation for men.
All right.
It's because the standards of what women are the standards of what women are placing on men today is
Mhm.
not it's not as high as they were before.
Right.
Because of course you can work, right?
Mhm.
So traditionally back in the day, the women back in the day, they couldn't work, so they had to rely on a man to take care of
Oh
her.
yeah.
So that was their expectation. Of like, I want a man that can provide for and protect me.
Mhm.
Now women can work, right?
Mhm.
And then what happens is, because you can work, you're not really putting a lot of emphasis on making sure that he can provide and pay for all your bills, because in your mind, I can pay for all your bills. But
Mhm.
then deep inside most women, especially when you have children, if you ask them, maybe you want to work now in your 20s, your 30s, but do you want to really want to work all the way to your 40s and 50s and 60s? Not really.
No.
most
Yeah.
most women would want a man that can provide and protect her for the rest of her life, and then
Mhm.
she has an option. If she wants to work, great, but she always has that option to step back and just be with the children if she wants to.
Yes.
But I think
Mhm.
that's what most women are looking for. But I think what society is telling women is, hey, you don't need a man to provide and protect you.
Definitely
but I
saying
but I
that.
think
Yeah.
it goes against everything within you as a woman, because I do believe most women would want a man to provide and protect you, but then society is telling you something different. But then that's how they find themselves in relationships with men who are not in their level, or
That's
they're
right.
below them, because in their mind, well, I can do 50% of what he does,
Mhm.
so I don't really have to find 100% masculine man. I can find something that's 50%, and you go in a relationship with that guy, and then you realizing, wow, he's not really stepping up to the man I want him to be.
Yeah.
And even though we're doing this 50-50 thing over long periods of time, you're like, I don't really want to do 50. There's times I just want to be a woman, and I
Right.
want my man just to be a man.
Yeah.
All right. But then you already got yourself in a relationship that where it's 50-50. And then that's how those, and I think our biology as men and women, that's what happens. Even though society is telling us one thing, but our biology is telling you, hey, I've always wanted a strong masculine man.
Mhm.
And then the men is like, well, I'm not. I always wanted to be with a woman, but now he's with a woman that's making more money. And then if he doesn't have the ambition for him to step up, I think he's gonna realize like, oh wow, like she doesn't look at me, she doesn't respect me the same way, and now he
Right.
feels like he's out of place,
Yeah.
because if she's the one, the boss, and making all the decisions and telling him what to
Mhm.
do, it's hard. Now he feels like, what, do I feel like a man? Like, do I feel like am I the one, the man in the relationship? I don't know, and that's how you see all these problems.
Right. Yeah. Biology, I mean, we can't control that.
Yeah,
And I think that you're right about that because eventually it's like a resentment starts to take
yeah,
place. You know, it's like, okay, now I'm with this guy, and maybe she even meets another guy,
yeah,
right? And this guy may have all the characteristics that she looked for, but she kind of settled for this other man during a certain phase in her life,
yeah,
you know, before she really like vetted him out or had her feelings, right? Her
yeah,
feelings overrode her logic, or she felt like, oh, the clock is ticking. I need to settle down with somebody
yeah,
and, you know, create a family or whatever her intentions are. So, um, yeah, it can be, it's, I don't know, it can be kind of difficult. You
yeah,
know, it can be deep, like, because there's so many different ways to look at it.
yeah. Is the the problem with the women making a lot of money is what they find them they put themselves what the issue is what they face is, say a woman makes say 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means that she only wants to date men out of making 100K or higher.
Right.
And the statistically, there's only about 20% of the men in the U.S. are making 100K or higher, right? So that means their dating pool is 20%.
Right.
And then what happens is that 20% of men that's making 100K, not only you, but 80% of women are all looking for the same man.
Yeah.
So even the women who are career oriented, they're still looking for that same man, the same level. But also the women who are just want to be housewives, they're not really career oriented. They all want the same man. So that's the problem. And then what happens is for a lot of these women, because they can't really find a guy that's in that 20%, then they try to date the guys in the 80% who's making less.
Right.
But they run into that problem. They can't respect him because he's not putting themselves in a position of leadership, and he doesn't have the ambition to provide and protect her to make her feel like a woman.
Right.
All right. So dating the 80% of the men that doesn't want to be in her level, there's a lot of problems with that, but there's also problems with trying to find a guy in the 20%.
Yeah, and then it's an issue because some women feel like, okay, I'm going to help him, become who I want him to be.
Yeah.
And that's also a challenge because as a woman, you need to be able to allow your man to hunt for himself. You know, I think it works differently when a man is trying to help a woman, but after a while, it's going to be like maybe she might throw it up in his face.
Yeah.
Oh, I helped you get to here, blah, blah, blah. And now that you're here, you cheat.
Yeah.
Or you start like stepping out, or you're not coming home, or, you change. So it's, a man who isn't like confident in his career.
Yeah.
It usually backfires on the woman in the relationship with him because he's not content. He's not happy. Because being financially sound for men is almost their top priority.
Yeah.
So if you're not meeting your top priority, the person who's next to you is going to feel it because you're stressed.
Yeah.
You're talking about it. I'm not doing this. I didn't meet my goal here. And, so it's like, that's why finding a man who is already, established or confident in his career is really important. And people say that finances don't matter, but finances are one of the top reasons why people get divorced.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's very, very important to have your finances in order as a man who is a man that provides and wants children, etc. But if you don't have it in order, it's kind of like you need to change direction and worry about that first.
Well, that's the topic that we're discussing right now is, should women make men prove themselves worthy before sex, right? I think one of the biggest qualities that you should look for in a man before deciding whether he has access to you intimately with your body is to make sure that he's capable of providing and protecting you financially. Right. But how many times have you seen women have sex with guys? There's no job, straight bums.
Right.
Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the current standards of dating today, right? Where men, like I said, because of hookup culture, because of the whole phase, because we can just go out there and live our life.
Right.
A lot of these girls don't put a lot of emphasis on a man's ability to provide and protect her, right? Especially the younger women. The older women, they start to realize how important that is as they get older.
Right.
But when you're young and naive, and you're still living with your parents, and they're the one providing for you, you don't necessarily put that emphasis on your partner. And that's why I believe the traditional methods it did work, because you live with your dad that was a good man that could take care of you, right?
Right.
And then the man that you wanted to be with you, he met your dad, met the family, and they made sure that he can provide and protect you. So as soon as you got married, you moved from your dad's house to his house, and he's already built his life to the point that he can just take over the role of your father, and he can take care of you.
Right.
Right. But the thing is, a lot of girls today is because of the dating standards today, they don't require men to do that no more.
Mhm.
So you date guys who have no job. There's people are dating in high school.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have
Yeah.
our shit together in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're not dating for marriage and purpose. You guys just having fun, spending time together. And then the only reason why finances become a factor is just when you get pregnant. And then when you become pregnant, now you're looking to your man like, what it was 18, 19, are you going to take care of me?
Right.
And then the guy's like, I'm still 18, 19. I'm still
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to figure things out. What it was 18, 19, even guys in their 20s, they still don't have the things figured out, or in their 30s, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I do see today a lot of the things that's important in relationships, like finances, his ability to provide or protect you, making sure that he's committed to you, making sure that he wants to marry you,
Right.
things that were very important. And there was a lot of emphasis on that in the beginning back in the day.
Mhm.
When a lot of women don't have those same emphases to make sure that they are showing that type of values and behavior before they have access to them. But we have sex first, have children first, and then we ask them, okay, I have kids now. Are you going to marry me?
Yeah.
Are you going to commit to me? Are you going to take care and
Yeah.
provide for me? And the guy's like, well, I never showed you any qualities like that. Well, I don't know why you expected it out of me.
Right. Right.
You know, I never told you I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's when that conversation, that's when that breakup happens, or they end up leaving each other.
Yeah. I mean, people are out here living reckless.
Yeah.
They're not looking for not all people, but just, some observations. Like they're not all looking for the white picket fence scenario, and because of the conditioning of what's going on in the world right now, it's like, okay, I'll settle for whatever I could get. If this is the only time that I'll get sexual intimacy from someone, okay, let's go ahead and hook up.
Yeah.
If I know that he's not a good man, but maybe we might be compatible sexually, let's go and hook up.
Yeah.
So and I have all of my needs taken care of. So it's like, okay, that's done and done, and I think that the long-term intimacy of having the connection like husband, wife, we grow old together. I think that unfortunately those times are changing, and people are loving selfishly now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's just what I've been seeing. Like, so as far as should women make men, step it up before they give them sexual access?
Yeah, they should.
They should.
Yeah.
But are those men going to be able to step it up? It's like once you, like my dad always told me, like, you have to understand the person's background of who you're talking to in order to understand the answers that they'll give you. Because some people are truly ignorant. And so some of these things that we're discussing don't matter to them. And they're gonna do what feels good to them regardless. And they may have been raised in a single parent household where they seen their mom do everything. So they figure that, okay, I'm gonna, I don't need to be a provider for this woman, whereas with like my upbringing, I seen my dad be a provider and take care of my mother. So it's certain things that now that I've had to go through that is like, okay, more independent, because my mom didn't work outside of the house. She worked really hard because she was raising all of us. I have 4 brothers and a sister. So her job was very important, but it wasn't like, oh, she's out working and, leaving the house every day. She was cooking and doing everything. So it's like a man who's seen his mom always working and always doing all these things. He's like, well, why can't you do it?
Yeah.
Open up your car door.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Like it's foreign to them.
Have you heard of the term where they often say, that women control the sexual marketplace. Have you heard of that?
I haven't.
Okay, so the logic behind that is because I know there's a complaint, right? The biggest complaint right now is why aren't these men stepping up, right? Why aren't these men working themselves to be great, competent provider, protectors, loyal, committed family men,
Right.
right? Because we all understand biology, we all understand what men want, right? And let's be honest, what's the primary thing that men seek relationships with women? Sex,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is, and then also to watch people watch this, sex, you know, I know depending on what your religion, but sex is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. That's how we procreate, right?
Right.
That's how we have built families, and that's how we create legacy, right? That's how we continue the species, right? But we all know that men want sex.
Right.
So because women control access to sex, like, you know, you have to give him consent, whether he has access to you physically and intimately, right? So because you guys control that power, so you guys have to, you control the standards of what men have to be to have access to you,
Right.
right? So
Right.
traditionally back in the day, I think the women, I don't know if they thought about this, but I think they had some kind of understanding that, look, in order for me to survive in this world, before we have all this technology, right?
Yeah.
I need a man that is strong provider, protector. I need a man that can farm. I need a man that can hunt.
Right.
I need a man that can protect me if somebody came to assault our family. He needs to be strong enough to take care of me, right?
Yes.
So that was their standard. It's like, I'm only gonna have sex with that type of man because it's a matter of survival for me.
Right.
All right. If I don't, I'm probably gonna live a hard life and probably will die quickly. But if I align myself with a good man who has skills, who's competent, he can provide, he can put food on the table, he can build a house with his hands, right? I'm gonna live a good life, and and then we're gonna have a good family, right? So I think women understood that logic, and they understood the power they have over men, and the men were like, well, if that's what women want, I'm gonna learn how to build a house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to farm. I'm gonna
For
learn
sure.
how to hunt. I'm gonna learn how
For
to,
sure.
you know, to do. I'm gonna learn to make sure I'm gonna build myself up to make sure that I can protect her. So men had to meet the standards of the women, right? So fast forward 2023, because of women, like that's the topic that we're discussing right now, right? Should women make men prove themselves to be worthy because of hookup culture, right? Because of the feminist movement to, you know, you can do whatever you want,
Right.
right? It's you know, you don't have to listen to no man, right? Because of that, they have lowered the standards of what men have to do to have sex with you.
Right.
And for all men, what they're saying is, okay, I don't have to get a job to have sex with you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I don't have to be a provider, protector to have sex with you. I don't have to be a good man to have sex with you, because I see all
Exactly.
these bums and these losers, see these guys that are toxic.
Yeah.
They're having sex with you. So if that's the standard that women are having now, and that's all it takes to have sex with you, why would I want to work hard and put myself in that position to have sex with you if I don't
Right.
have to do it? And you're allowing other men to do that for you, and I'm going to do the same thing. But there's only going to be a few men, right? There's going to be a few men. Hey, guys, even though that's the standards now, and that's why I have a podcast with men that we tell each other we have to build ourselves up.
Yes.
You know, but I don't think a lot of women realize the power you guys have, because if all women came together as a group, and it's like, you know what, starting today, what day is it today? September 2nd. Starting today, September 2nd, 2023, we're only going to have sex with men that can provide our protectors, for good
Right.
values and principles. They want commitment, they want marriage, they want family, right? They have leadership skills, right? He can communicate, right? He's able to have self-control, right? You know, if that was their standard for all women, I promise you, all men were like, shoot, okay, if that's the standard.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be. I want to have sex. So all men are still. I promise you, majority of men, the men that really want to take it seriously,
Yeah.
they're all going to raise their standard to have a standard. And then the guys that don't want to do it, obviously they're going to be weeded out, because no one wants to be with those men anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I think a lot of women don't understand the power that you guys have. If you have high standards as a woman, and like I told you before, but a man will literally do anything for you, right? If it's with the right woman.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So even though, and you know, the sex part for me is like, do all men want sex? Of course. But I think it depends on the purpose. Some guys just want to have sex just for sex and move on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Me as a guy, do I want sex? Of course I want to have sex. It's natural. That's how we procreate. But I want to have sex because I want to have a family.
Right.
A purpose behind the sex.
Exactly.
Some guys, their only purpose behind sex is just sex and move on. But for the good men, especially the men that have really built themselves and they have a plan for their future, they know what they want for their life. They know what type of family they want, and they know what type of wife they want. They know what type of relationship and marriage they want. They know what kind of legacy they want. They want to have sex because they want something more than that.
Exactly.
And it's usually like family, right? And I think that's I understand for all the women that's watching this right now, right? I know women like I know women listen to this right now.
Yeah.
I understand men need to be better. I agree.
Yeah.
Men need to be better. As men, we need to hold other men accountable. And of course, we have to become the men that become great examples for other young boys
Right.
that usually don't, if they grew up in a single mom household, maybe they didn't have strong masculine figures in his life. So we have to become those examples. But I think for a lot of women, it will be a lot better. I mean, not said better, but it'd be a lot easier if every woman just came together and was like, you know what? Enough is enough.
Right.
Standards are here.
Yeah.
And men, if you don't meet these standards, there is zero access to us.
Right.
And I promise you, the men that are really serious about you, every single guy is going to raise their standard because nothing is going to stop us from getting pursue sex.
That's true. For some, yeah, that's true.
All right.
Definitely. I don't know. You made a good point with that though.
Yeah.
Like if women, had higher standards, it would make things more difficult for the guys who probably shouldn't be trying to talk to you in the first place.
Think about this: the guy that just wants to sleep with you and waste your time, right? Do you think he's actually going to put up the work to meet your standards?
No.
Hell no.
Yeah, they can only pretend for so long before they get tired.
He is not going to put all the work to meet those high standards. So what he's going to do, he's going to find the girl with the lowest standards.
Yeah.
And pursue those women. Because there's always women out there like that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying is when you have high standards as a woman, right? If the man is willing to put in that work for it, that means he actually wants to be with you.
Exactly.
Right? If the man is like, if a man tells you, that's too much, that tells you where his intentions are.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's not too much for the right person. It's never too much.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's always a conversation to have. I tell girls, it's like, you guys have the power. You guys have the power and the influence on men's behavior. Like that's why I believe in the standards. If you have high standards, I promise you, you're only going to attract high standard type of men.
Right.
And the men that don't want to meet those standards, that's all you need to know. Because that's the type of men that you don't want anyway.
Exactly.
Right? And as soon as they hear your standards, they're gonna run away from you because they know I'm not putting that work.
Exactly.
Right. But the men is, you have high standards. I have high standards. Oh, great. This is perfect because I'm willing to have high standards for myself, and I want my woman to have that high standard.
Right.
And I know for a fact that if you have high standards, then we're gonna both work for this. All right. Which is one of the primary things that people do in successful relationships. So. No, it's interesting. Yeah, it's you ladies even watching this right now, you guys control the marketplace. You guys control.
Yay, control.
I know a lot of modern women they like the word controlling men, but yeah, a lot of women don't realize how much if you guys have control how men behave, and then if you lower your standards as women, then most men is like, okay, why would I pursue something better? Become a better man if that's the standard that we're gonna be that's the standard that it takes to be with a woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Nevertheless, appreciate everybody that's watching this right now. I know we have some good conversations. What do we let me know what you guys think on the live chat. I appreciate you guys. All right. I see Brian on the live chat. I see Mel Mascardo, Evo 206. All right, and BL17. All right. And 4240, I know I see you in the live chat. And also BL17, Ilkan Ali, and Team Fatty. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for watching this right now. If you have any questions or topics that you want Savannah to discuss or you want to ask us to discuss, ask it through the live chat. Ask it through a super chat to donate to the channel, and I'll be able to read it on here and give you guys any questions. All right. But I think we're gonna go to some videos that we're gonna react to. We're gonna watch some videos that have been going viral on social media.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, and I don't know if you've seen these videos, but these are videos I've seen going on social media right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let me play this video, and of course, everybody on the live chat, let me know your reaction to the videos as well. Appreciate you guys always on the live chat. But this is the first video I saw that went viral on social media. Okay.
I have asked the last 3 dudes
I gotta change the volume. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay.
I've dated for their bank account info on the first date
I don't judge people's actions. I look at the intention behind it. So, like, why do you ask for that?
because I only want to date a wealthy guy that has money.
Valid. So you're getting straight to the point.
I think, I have a job. I'm very successful. So I think I have every right to be like, hi, are we on the same level or am I wasting my time?
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was a video I saw when viral. She was saying she was talking on a podcast where she asks the way she dates when she goes on the first date. She asks men to pull up their bank account, and she wants to look at his bank account. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's extreme.
Too extreme?
Yeah, I think it's extreme. Like, especially on the first date.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know, and he might have multiple accounts.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't. That's like, oh, I need your social security
Yeah.
number day one. Like, I think there's other ways to kind of validate if they are who they say they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would walk out like, girl, bye.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if and well, there's a couple of things that goes to my mind. Extreme is one of them. If money is such a primary factor for her, right? Then for me is if you are working on yourself as a woman to have high standards, you should be able to attract men with those same kind of standards, especially if that's your preference as a woman. I don't have a problem with women seeking men that have high financial resources, right? Because it's natural for you. You want a man that can provide and protect you. You want a man that's higher in your level, right? But I think for most, the way I see it is, if you are attracting the right type of man and you have the same kind of qualities within yourself, then you wouldn't have to ask for his bank account because you know he got it like that.
Yeah.
If you have to ask for his bank account, I kind of question her vetting process. Are you attracting men that you have to question his ability to provide and protect you?
Yeah.
You have to question his men because he might be broke, and if you're attracting broke men, then that's that maybe that's an issue within you, right? Because you don't have to look at somebody's bank account to know that he's a competent provider protector.
Right.
There's certain values and certain principles that there's certain ways men move. Like men who make a lot of money, they move differently. Right. They move differently than men who don't make a lot of money. So those guys are constantly working. They they're disciplined. Right. They're they don't have a lot. They're not wasting their time smoking, playing video games, going to the club every single night, like what the average guy does. Like they're on their hustle, they're on their grind, they have their goals, and you can see it with the job they work. And like there's certain things that you can look for in a man that you can tell, okay, he's on his grind, he's on his purpose. Yeah. And I know he's got it going on for himself. He don't have to show me his bank account, but I know he got it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's my question. That's my only criticism for her is if you're attracting men that you have to doubt their ability to provide or protect you, and you think you make more money than them, then I will question her decisions of the type of men that she allows into her life.
Right.
And if she's not attracting those high level men, then maybe she needs to look within herself to like ask herself why she's not attracting those types of men. Because those types of men are looking for a certain type of woman with certain standards and values. And if you don't have those standards and values, it's probably why they don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
Right.
The bank account thing is like a lot, right? But at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, there are men who literally portray a lifestyle that they are not really living.
Yeah.
And they get rental cars. They have, you know, they make all these lavish videos.
That's true.
They do a lot of different things in order to uh, attract certain types of women.
Yeah.
So even fake like jewelry,
Yeah.
different things. So I understand like you know, her skepticism,
Yeah.
but you know, there are other ways to make sure that people are who they say they
Oh,
are.
yeah, yeah.
You know, but yeah, that was a good video.
I know. I mean, you can't. I mean, yeah, it's like the jewelry
Yeah.
thing. I mean, like, just because a person has jewelry doesn't really necessarily mean that they have money, right?
Yeah.
But that's
yeah.
why. But that's why the long. That's the purpose of dating, to figure that out. You know, you're not gonna figure that out in one day,
No.
and you can't. That's too
Even a
extreme.
month, maybe you might
Yeah,
not figure
yeah.
it
It takes a
out.
couple. I would say it would
Yeah.
take maybe 3 to 6 months
Yeah.
of making sure that you could. Okay, this person, their behaviors align and their values align with the ability to provide and protect for you.
For sure.
And of course, if I want her to ask her is like if she is willing to ask the men to look at her bank account, I look at their bank account, is she gonna show hers as well?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, if you ask me,
Uh-huh.
you've asked me to show my bank account, let me see yours.
Right.
Am I dealing with a broke ass?
Exactly.
Right.
But like you said earlier, it doesn't really matter more, you know, for the woman so much.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
could have 50K, you know, to her name,
Doesn't
and he
matter.
might have $1 million.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He doesn't really care, you know.
I think the only thing that men care about is if that's her extreme standard. So are you just gonna be with me for the money?
Yeah.
You know, like is that all you care and look for? Do you want to build a relationship? Do you want to build some kind of a deep connection?
Right.
All right.
Right.
Or am I just dealing with a gold digger? You know, with a
Uh-huh.
woman that just wants you for money, and then you get married, and then a couple of years later down the line, you're just gonna get divorced and find another guy that makes more money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with women wanting to make more money. I think that's their natural, the things that you're attracting to men. But at the end of the day, there has to be a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you want a man that makes a lot of money, great. But then as long as you're willing to invest into a relationship, to be connected and committed and loyal to that man. But if you're 100% and your concern is just money, I'm kind of, for me, one of the risks in my mind is like, do you really want to build a relationship with me? Like, do you really want to have a deep connection with me?
Right.
Or majority of this is just money. You just want the lifestyle I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
And then maybe one day you get bored of the lifestyle because we haven't built any kind of relationship or connection that's going to last a lifetime.
Right.
Then this is only temporary because it is kind of superficial.
Uh-huh.
All right. So maybe and what happens if I can't provide that life? Maybe, what if I go through some hard times?
Right.
Right. You know, because relationships goes up and down. What if I get some setbacks in my business? Is that going to be a concern?
Yeah.
I can't currently provide the lifestyle that I was able to afford you in the beginning of our relationship. Are you going to leave me because now I can't provide it? So those are things that's going to run through my mind.
Right.
If your main concern is just money, but I don't have a problem with women like they say I want a guy that makes a lot of money. That's fine because I know it's natural for you.
Yeah.
But I'm also willing to but do you also want to build something, a deep connection with me?
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can feel it, right? You
yeah.
can feel it like when someone wants a connection with you, they ask you certain questions, they care for you a certain type of way, maybe even take care of your mother or go, you know, it's just a deeper thing than what meets the surface. Even like for women who may be dating an older guy, right?
Yeah.
So say she's like 25 and her man could be like 40, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe they don't have anything in common initially, but they start to develop and build a bond. And it's not only, okay, has all these things established. I know he can take care of me. But I actually like his personality.
Yeah.
I like his laugh.
Yeah.
Or, you know, simple things that make you start to love that person more so than, oh, it's all about the glitz and the glam of the lifestyle that he's afforded me. And the look that I have because I'm a beautiful young woman. And so it kind of ups his value too because he's able to have, you know, a woman that meets his standards, you know? So I think it just depends.
I think also like pretty women, like especially very pretty women, I think
Mhm.
they run into the same problem. If say a guy is just looking for a very hot woman, right?
Yeah.
I think in their minds, same thing with a guy that makes a lot of money. What happens is obviously when we get older, this beauty is gonna fade.
Right.
Are you still gonna stick around? If your whole emphasis, that reason why you want to be with me is because of my looks,
Right.
what happens if when I get older and this fades away?
Hmm.
Are you gonna still be around?
Yeah.
So, and we all know men want an attractive woman, but I think that's just a primary attraction. But there's gonna be deeper surface is the connection in the relationship.
Right.
I know I want to. Okay, you're hot, you're attractive, but also like I like you for you. I like you for the other things that you provide and your
Uh-huh.
personality, like those things, right? Your
Right.
personality, all those other things that's come with it, and we
Right.
can build something special. But I think I don't have a. I mean, it is too extreme asking for money.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with women that are seeking men who are very highly successful. My only issue is if that's the only thing that she cares about. If she doesn't
Yeah.
care about a relationship, if she doesn't care about building a family, then I would say she's a big red flag. All right.
Yeah.
And is there? Trying to see if there's a sound effect for that. Play the sound effect. Let me see if you can hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear the sound effect. Okay. There we go. That's a big red flag.
Big red flag.
Yeah, yeah, that's so like I don't have a problem with her saying that if she wants
Mhm.
money, make money. That's fine, and that's normal for women. But if that's her only concern, then I
Right.
would say, oh yeah, that's a red flag
Yeah.
because you still have to build a relationship at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
and you gotta like that person.
Yeah,
If you're gonna be around them
yeah, for your
like
whole life.
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you have to like them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
regardless of the ups and downs, because you're gonna go through ups and
Right.
downs, right?
Some high earners, they're not the best people to be around sometimes.
No,
So
that's
you
true.
gotta
Yeah.
make sure you
Yeah.
find, one that you can,
No, that's true. That's true. Like
be with.
they're always most of them are busy. They're working,
Yeah.
so you got to be able to understand that.
Right.
All right, so let's go to the next video. Okay, so let me know what you guys think on the live chat. I appreciate you guys watching this right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But let me play the next video. And this is the next video I'm gonna play. And this is okay. Oh, make sure the volume works for us. Okay, audio. Okay, that's good.
Attractive women are less likely to get married. In order for a marriage to work, you need to be incredibly forgiving and show a lot of compromise. Now, because attractive women are surrounded by men who are constantly making them promises, whenever her partner's behavior is fallible, she believes that she doesn't have to put up with this because there's men willing to give her everything that she's ever asked for, even though it's not true. And as a result, she becomes less tolerant and compromising and more likely to walk away every time things are becoming difficult. Second reason is throughout the course of a marriage, they tend to desire their woman less and less. Now, attractive women, they find this transition very difficult to deal with because they're surrounded by men who are almost tripping over themselves to tell her how beautiful she is. When she's with a man who slowly is becoming indifferent to her appearance, she finds this very difficult to put up with. So instead of accepting that this is a natural process, she'll simply replace the man to receive the same validation that she's used to receiving all the time. And as a result, she's less likely to settle down.
That's deep.
What do you think about that video? So yeah, so I think basically what she said, based on what I heard, the more attractive the woman, which means that the more men that want to be with her.
Right.
And usually what happens is, for a lot of the attractive women, the guys, because she can attract all types of guys, and most guys just want to be around her. They don't they reward her for bad behavior. She can act however she acts.
Yeah.
And these guys are just gonna accept it because she's beautiful.
Right.
But so she won't be. But the thing is, because the guys are just accepting everything she is, she doesn't respect those guys, because women will only respect a guy that's willing to tell her, hey, hold you accountable.
Right.
It's going to they will have to sometimes put you in your place.
Mm-hmm.
And even though women don't like that, but they like that from a man, right?
Yeah.
But if you can just walk all over your man, you feel like that you're the one. He's not. You feel like you're the one being the leader. You're the man being the man, and he's the one that the roles are reversed.
Right.
Right. So a lot of times it's pretty women. They're just around all these guys, and then none of these guys do not hold her accountable for her bad behavior. And then number two, what she said, they get a lot of validation, especially with social media. A lot of these girls are posting online.
Right.
So they get addicted to that validation.
Yeah.
And then when they finally be with the man, and I know she's a beautiful woman, but when you are in a relationship long term, eventually the guy doesn't really have to compete to give you validation, because he knows that we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
I don't really have to tell you you're beautiful every day. Even though it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to do.
Right. But he doesn't, but naturally he's not gonna put in the 100% of the work that he probably did before when you guys were dating. Right. But I think for a lot of these women who post themselves online, they need that validation from men. And then if they don't receive the same level of validation from the man they're dating, and they're receiving it on social media, then a lot of women just can't accept that, and they'll just go back to the streets and they'll leave that guy.
Yeah.
So that's what she was saying. I think that's what I got. But what are your thoughts on? Do you think there's some truth to what she said?
It's definitely some truth. We talked a little bit about social media earlier, and social media changes the dynamics for everyone. Like you said, the Tinders and the everything, all the channels of social media. So it's like, yeah, it's hard because you start to question your partner's intention.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's not telling me I'm beautiful every day, but maybe he liked on Susie Q's picture and he's telling her she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell me. I haven't heard it for a week, and I'm seeing him liking all these pictures of women, but here I am over here just as beautiful, and you're not giving me the same love.
Yeah.
So there's a thief of comparison that takes place because social media is not real. It is, but it's not, it's not our lives every day. So she may get validated from her friends saying, oh, girl, you look good. Or guys like, oh, man, you're so hot, whatever. But in her real life, if her partner is not doing that or giving her, positive words of affirmations, then it's like it's all pointless because you can get it from a million people. But if your partner is not impressed or they're acting like you're normal but at the same time they're liking other girls' pictures, it kind of puts your relationship in a situation. Because you need to be able to talk about those things and say, hey, it made me feel like this when I posted my picture, but you didn't like it, but I seen you on blah blah blah's page and you're always liking their pictures. So as women, as we choose our partners, it's like we have to be able to make sure that we can communicate with them and let them know, how it makes you feel, their interactions with the opposite sex, and vice versa. Because if you're able to communicate it and they say, okay, I didn't like when you liked the guy's picture while he was shirtless. It made me feel like this. And she says, okay, well, I won't do it again, and you guys leave it at that. And she actually doesn't do it again. Then that's a respect factor coming in, because my partner says, hey, I don't like that. And then you fix it if it's within reason. But if you're like, oh, I'm gonna like whoever's pictures I want to. You can't tell
Yeah.
me nothing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it's gonna be a problem because it's like, you know, she don't respect me. She cares more about what this person thinks on social media than she does me, and I'm laid with her. I'm paying bills.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a man for my girl, and she doesn't respect me.
Yeah.
You know, so it all boils down to communication. As far as more beautiful women walking away from situations, sometimes you know you have to calculate the value of the relationship and then say, well, okay, is it more valuable for me to stay here, or would I be better off not in this situation? Because you do have some types of men who are just anal about every little thing that
Yeah.
you do, and it stresses you out.
I think for both men and women, I think if you're in a committed relationship, I don't think you should be liking other people's pictures unless it's family, you know, people
Right.
that you follow, like mentors, you know, entrepreneurs, people that has a good inspiration influence over you. But
Right.
if you're both, I think there's a deeper issue within that. If both of you guys in a committed relationship, but you're both liking sexy pictures of the opposite sex, I
Right.
think that's a problem in
Yeah.
itself. But I do understand that. I think from that video, I think she's probably pointing out women who are on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I think it's natural for women. I think for most women, they want validation and the attention from the men that they want to be with, right?
Yeah.
So I think I've heard that from a lot of women. I just want his time.
Yeah.
Because if a man's willing to give you your time, then you know that he's going to give you. You want his attention. You want his time, right?
Right.
You want him to be, you want him to, you want yourself to be like his focus of the world.
Uh-huh.
All right, and
Uh-huh.
then I think that also lets you guys know that this man is interested, because there could be a lot of things he could be doing, but it's choosing to be with me,
Right.
right? But I think if women have a lot of insecurity issues, and I think for a lot of social media, that validation can be addictive. If she didn't really have a strong father to give her that validation and love early in her life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's an old saying that goes that if you don't receive the love and validation, you're gonna find her somewhere else,
Yeah.
right? So I think it would be yeah, especially pretty women, right? So if they don't have a healthy relationship when it comes to validation from the men in their life, then they're gonna seek it from social media, and all these men are giving her that validation that she always wanted,
Yeah.
and it becomes addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the problem with that from a man that's gonna be in a relationship with her, the big red flag and risk would be is my attention and validation I want to give her is never going to be enough,
Right.
because she's always comparing it to the hundreds of thousands of men that gives her. Because that's her base level. That's her norm. Her
Mm-hmm.
norm is 1,000 guys telling her she's pretty every day.
Right.
All right.
Right. Yeah.
And not only 1,000 different guys, but 1,000, thousand. Some of these guys are millionaires, right? Some of these guys are celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys are, they have a big social media following.
Right.
So my concern is like, I have to compete with all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like you said, I'm the one taking you out. I'm the one paying for your bills. I'm the one that's dating you, right? I'm the one that's committed to you.
Right.
But now I have to compete with all these guys' validation when I'm doing my best as a man, just showing you effort and giving you my time.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, that's not enough.
Yeah.
So I think that's what she was concerned about. That she was talking about in that video. That's one of the risks of dating women who are on social media and they're addicted to validation.
Yeah.
Because as a man, I'm like, I want to show you, I want to give you the world, but if that's not enough because other guys are telling you other things, then it will never be enough.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
eventually, like she said, eventually, if my attention is not enough as the ones on social media, then she's gonna eventually leave you and go back to social media. So.
Right. And I think that, as far as validation from, people online, you have to really do the self-work because, you could post a picture one day and usually you're used to 500 likes. And today you got 100 or you got 10. you're gonna go cry about it. Like you have to be able to say, okay, regardless of the response that I get, this is a photo of me that I liked, so I'm posting it. Even me, like with business stuff, right? Like I might post something and see the views are really high, but there's no comments or something like that,
Doesn't matter,
So it doesn't matter because I'm still getting the information out there, which was my intention.
Well, the thing is, if you're happy with yourself in your life, it doesn't matter what happens on social media.
Exactly.
Right? Because you know yourself, you know how you really feel. And about whether it's one like, whether it's a million likes, doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
I know for a lot of guys that, because I have conversations with a lot of guys, they really want to be with an Instagram model. Look, I know Instagram models. I haven't met an Instagram model that was not insecure. All these girls, I think all these girls that you see posting their bodies online,
right?
I know for a fact that most of these girls are insecure. Insecure, but they need that validation to fill that void of that insecurity that they have, to feel like they're actually beautiful, even though they're already beautiful women.
Right.
But they need that extra validation because they never received it going on. But I have some girlfriends that I know that they're trying to go through that Instagram model route, and I haven't met one yet that was really secure with herself.
Right.
That whether she got one like, I've seen them like cry over like one like, or they'll take a picture down, right? Because you got one like, they'll take a picture down because you only got one like, and they'll try to post a different picture. That's how you know they're insecure with themselves.
Yeah. And that just goes like back to survival mode too for women, because it's like certain things, certain jobs, let's say, you don't really want to do as a woman.
Yeah.
Most women, right? It's like, do you really want to show your body off as far as naked nudity online to thousands of people for, financial gain? But if you had, the provider that we've been talking about highly of, you wouldn't have to like stoop to those levels, unless you're one of those women who feel like, oh, this liberates me and that's what you're about. Okay.
That's like less than 1% of women.
But if you're not like, with that feminist movement type of vibe, then it's like, you're doing this because you need to survive. You have kids to pay for it. You have to, eat, so the social media is a huge thing.
It's hard because my stance, I disagree with women posting their bodies online.
Right.
I think it hurts them long term, especially when it comes to finding a strong man and the wants to take care of.
Right.
I think the sexual part of the relationship, I think that's something that's sacred, that you and your man can share privately.
Right.
And intimately, it's something special that you guys have that you guys can share privately.
Yeah.
When that is exposed to the world, it doesn't make it special anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's just coming from a man's perspective, but if I'm the only man that has access to your body, that makes it special to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something I was like, and then of course you have access to me. It's like our sexual relationship is special.
Right.
It's not, nobody has access to it besides us. It makes you feel good. I think if you feel good about that, right?
Yeah.
But there's something about showing your body online, women who are in sex work, doing pornography.
Yeah.
And doing that online for the whole world to see. I think for me as a man, it's like, why would I want something that the whole world has seen and it doesn't feel as special?
Right.
It's if I'm with a woman that has high standards, has high self-respect for herself, but also I know for a fact that this is something that me and her share, and something that's special, but not all people have seen it. And I think but also at the same time, I understand we live in a world where men are no longer providing and protecting.
Yeah.
So women have to step up, and I never criticize any man or woman that have to put food on the table, regardless of what industry they decide to partake in, as long as it's legal.
Yeah.
As long as it's legal, but you're not out there killing people or committing some heinous crimes. But I disagree with the sex work, but I also understand that as a woman, if you have to take care of yourself and you have to take care of your kids, you have to do it. I guess my only statement that I would say to those women is, before you decide to go that route, you should try to explore any other options.
Yeah.
Because
for
once you
sure.
once you go that route, even though it is an easier route, it is easy. Just post your body out there, and there'll be a lot of men that will willing to pay you to see you naked. But I know, like, everything that's easy in life, it never works out long term, right?
Yeah.
Everything that's great, it always takes some kind of effort and sacrifice. But that, I guess, that's my only. I mean, but if you have to, that's your choice, and that's the only choice that you wanted to take to feed your family and make sure your kids, especially if you're a single mom.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna criticize it. You gotta put food on your table. You gotta make sure you have a roof over your head. But I would recommend that before you go down that path, explore everything and try to do it. Try to figure out a way, and before you do that, because the consequences of posting your body or going to sex work, it's going to be really hard to attract a good man that wants to provide and protect you and make you his woman. Because most men, they when it comes to women's sexuality, they're very exclusive and very territorial, and they just want to share that thing between you and her, you and him.
Right.
But to have the whole world all them and to see, it's really, really hard, to say, hey, that's my woman right there, when everybody's seeing you naked or everybody's seeing you having sex. It's really hard to have that sense of pride. The same way you guys have a pride with the man who's really working hard for you.
Oh yeah.
And going out there and working hard and sacrificing his life to give you guys the best life possible. A lot of you guys are, that's my man right there, right? But then if he's a bum, it's hard to come.
Right. Yeah. You're like, oh, I don't want to tell nobody about him.
Exactly right. You don't. Damn, son, where's your fucking it's really hard to say that, but I think from the man's perspective, it's really hard to say, man, that's my woman, that's my wife right there.
Right.
Everybody in the neighborhood or community has seen you naked and had sex. It's really hard to do that. So that's that's the consequence of that lifestyle. So it's that's the only thing for the women out there. But do you think pretty? But also the point that she made in the beginning, do you think when the woman's more prettier, the men that she usually attracts, if she doesn't attract strong men, but she attracts a lot of weak guys, the guys just tolerate their bad behavior? Have you seen a lot of pretty girls? I'm sure you've seen a lot of pretty girls with bad attitude or bad behavior, and the guys that she's with, they just accept it because she's pretty.
Yeah. I've seen that. And then there was this girl I was in school with, and she was dating like an older guy.
Yeah.
But she was like really mean to him, so it's like he still put up with it because he's like, she's pretty, like I want her, like but she didn't treat him the best,
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it just depends on the dynamics of the relationship, because after a while, if you're being treated badly, you're going to remove yourself.
Eventually it's going to.
If you are mentally sound, because some people stay and tolerate BS for years, right?
Yeah.
But if you really care and care about yourself and value yourself, you're going to be like, oh no, she's not cool. Like, let me go.
See, that's the problem with if you don't have certain principles, boundaries as a man, like the older man, right? Say he decided, you know what, I'm tired of her treating me unfairly.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And he finally steps up and he finally has the balls to say, I'm tired of it. Stop doing this. What's gonna happen? She's gonna leave him. Well, there's a bunch of other guys that's willing to accept this bad behavior.
Yeah.
So I don't need you, and then they'll just move on to the next guy.
For sure. For sure.
And I guess that's the whole point of her video, that a lot of pretty girls, if they didn't have good examples of good men of how to be treated, then they will usually attract a lot of weak men that just want to have sex with her because she's pretty.
Right.
And those men who just accept any kind of behavior with her, and then she lives her whole life never knowing that, never knowing any kind of accountability on her part. that you actually have to care about what the other person says.
Usually the women though, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
can be
Some know
very
already.
yeah.
Some know already.
Yeah, it can be very calculated.
Yeah.
Like they're usually not naive about
Yeah,
their
yeah.
actions.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just depends on when they're ready to change.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're doing. Like they're not being mean for any reason. And then sometimes as like a beautiful woman, like you use your rudeness or meanness as a protective mechanism.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like me, I'm really nice, but some people will use that against me.
Yeah.
You know, and try to walk all over me or think that, oh no, she's naive. Like nice doesn't always equate to naive, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of women are like, oh, if I'm not mean to him, then he's gonna think he can walk all over me.
Mm.
And they will sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of guys will.
Yeah.
If you're not like, you don't like put your foot down, if you don't tell them, no, that's not cool, they'll try to manipulate you or play with you. And just because she's so pretty, she can't know about this, or, you know, she'll accept this and that.
Yeah.
But if you're like, no, you know, and stand your ground or be mean, right? Then they're like, oh, I can't mess with her like that.
Yeah.
You know? So I see, I always see both sides.
No, I don't. I've heard about guys. You know the narrative of like guys being nice.
Yeah.
The nice guy.
Mr. Nice
yeah,
Guy.
That means a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe in being nice. I believe in being kind.
Right.
Because I think when it happens is when you're too nice, you let people walk over you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that both with men and women.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with men. You know, they're just a nice guy.
Right.
And they find a woman, and especially like you said, there's women out there that they calculate. They're strategic.
Yeah.
So they know you're a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
They know that they can walk over you.
Right.
All right. So I think I don't like I think men. It's not about being nice. I think it's just having strong morals and principles. Like I'm kind. I'm kind to everyone, but I don't have to be nice to you if I don't think that you're a good person.
Right.
So I'll treat everybody kindly, but as soon as I know that you're moving in a way that I don't think that's beneficial for my life, or you're toxic, all right, you're showing bad behavior or a negative attitude or things I don't think that's going to be benefiting me.
Yeah.
Or you're just bad, or you're just a shitty person.
Right.
I don't have a problem with be like, oh, I don't want to be with you. You need to get out of my face right now. Or you need to distance yourself right now. You can't come too close. I think telling guys to be nice, I think it's one of the worst advice.
Yeah.
Because I think when guys hear the word nice, they think they have to tolerate everything, and that's what nice people do.
Yeah.
They smile through everything, and I think that's not how you should live your life. If people cross your boundaries,
right,
you should be able to tell them, yeah. Well, some of you guys may try like the very nice route. Hey, please get away from me. But if that doesn't work, you need to have the courage, like get the fuck away from me and get the shit out of my life. I don't want to see you ever again. Okay, you understand that,
right?
All right, and you have to be like that sometimes to certain people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't. But that's just my point. When I tell guys, it's not about being nice. It's just be kind, be a good person. But then when people cross that boundary and you're dealing with a bad person, you don't be afraid to tell them, I don't want to be. I don't want you in my life.
Right.
And that is okay. But I think when people hear the word nice, I think it kind of conditions you to accept everything, because in your mind you're telling yourself, I'm a nice person. So as a nice person, I have to be nice with everyone.
Right.
But in reality, you don't have to be nice with everyone. There's certain people that don't deserve your time, your effort, or even being around you.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be able to tell them, I don't want you in my life. Get away from me. Or,
for sure.
All right. But if you tell yourself you're a nice person, it's really hard to have those direct conflicting conversations.
Yeah.
I know for women it's really hard because
it's hard for women.
Yeah.
Like even for me, like because I was always protected, right? So it's like when it came to me speaking up for myself, I noticed that I had a little bit of a challenge at first because, like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or they're going to be mad at me, or they're not going to invite me, or whatever the case may be. But you have to learn that you are important, because if I don't value myself more, like, then I'm going to let people do whatever they want, when they want, and how they want to me. So it's like that if you care about yourself, you love yourself, then it becomes easier for you to speak up when something is not good for you, or someone is not good for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially feminine women,
Yeah.
because I know feminine women by temperament, by personality, you tend to be more agreeable.
Yeah.
So it's really, really hard for you to like disagree and tell somebody, I disagree with you, or I don't want you to be around me, or I don't like you, get out of my face. It's hard. It's hard for women feminine. Not the strong, independent women. They don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But typically for most women who are very feminine, it's really, really hard for them to be very disagreeable. But I think, yeah. But I don't have a problem with women being nice. But I think for men, when you tell men to be nice, I think it hurts them. Because I don't really hurts you, because if you're a nice woman, even if the guy turns out to be an asshole, then you can tell him get away. Right? But even though you're nice, because at the end of the day, men they seek women who are nice,
Right.
and comforting, that they're enjoyable to be around, right? But I think for a guy, it doesn't work in his favor, because as a woman, you're looking for somebody that's strong,
right?
That's not gonna be walked all over. That has some kind of backbone, has some kind of boundaries, has some kind of some value that he's willing to stand on, and beliefs he's willing to stand on. He's not willing to compromise on certain things.
Yeah.
I think that works out well for men. So that way, but if he's too nice, I think it hurts him.
Yeah, and it hurts the relationship too, because I think for a woman is okay for us to be a certain niceness.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think being too nice doesn't hurt you.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I never met a man that said, I didn't want to be with her because she was too nice to me.
Right.
That's never
no
man has ever said that. But
and it's natural.
Yeah.
Right.
I have heard women say, I don't want to be with him because he's just too nice. He always agrees to everything I say.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he lets me, I walk over him all the time. And I've heard women say that, but I never heard men say that.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, men have to be not mean, but come off as stronger. Of course, you let your guard down a little bit for your partner, right? But if you're just like the guy who your friends walk all over, or the yes man to your friends and all that, like, your woman will start to pay attention to that, and she's like, I don't want my man being doing like that, or so it's really important to be like a dominant, strong, my word is my word type of guy, because then it allows your woman to be nice.
Yeah.
Because she knows that you're still directing her.
Well, I think when a man has certain principles and values, then he tells his woman, I'm never going to bend on these.
Yeah.
I think it allows a woman to naturally behave herself. All right. So if a man says, "Hey, I'm not gonna date a woman that's gonna post her 90% of her body online,"
right?
All right, that's never gonna happen. When a woman, and then he says, and of course he's gonna stick to that principle, right?
Right.
He's not gonna be like, he's gonna say that, but then you post your body, right? And then he's like, and then later on you go to him and it's like, you know what? And then you send him a picture of your body, and then he falls for temptation, and he wants to have sex with you,
right?
And then he compromises on his principles, right? So I think then now that woman knows, oh, even though he says that, but there's a ways to go around it, right? But when the man says, hey, I don't want you to post picture on online, that's a hard line for me. And as soon as you do that, then you're not the woman for me. I'm just gonna walk out. I don't care what happens. As soon as the first time you post it, I'm walking down. I'm letting you know right now. And so as soon as a woman knows that's something that he won't cross, a woman will never go beyond that. She was okay. He's serious about this.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna bend on that principle. It doesn't matter how attractive. Doesn't matter if I try to offer you sex or something. He's not
Right.
about that. Like he's gonna stick to that.
Exactly.
Then she'll naturally just well it depends on her. But if she said, "Oh, that's not what I want," then you'll leave. But well, okay, I want him, and he's a good man to me, and that's one of his boundaries. Then I guess I'll just behave that way.
Right.
And
right.
I'm on post.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I think having strong boundaries for both men and women,
Yeah.
for both men and women, it helps each other to behave, to control our behavior, so that way we can behave in a way that makes us happy.
Exactly.
Right. But if you don't have hard boundaries, then the other person will start doing things that hurts you, but then you're not going to tolerate it.
Right.
Right. And if you don't set it hard in line, then and you add on years and years and years and years, there's only you guys chaos and resentment.
Yeah, that goes back to adaptability, because it's like if you're able to have those hard discussions and come to problems and say, okay, how are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
And also like the modern woman today, right? If she understands that certain things that her man may request of her, are to also protect her and them as a unit, then it won't be more so like you're trying to control me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, he's telling me this for these reasons. He has a viewpoint that is coming from a man, right? Because I can never feel how a man feels, right?
That's
and vice
true.
versa.
Vice versa.
So it's like, okay, his view is telling me this because he knows essentially how other men operate. So that's why he's telling me he doesn't want me to post a full bikini shot on Instagram. But hey, we can take this picture together where it's just our, but so different reasons, and it's adaptability. And the sad thing is most people don't know how to communicate.
No, that is the biggest issue.
And
you know why?
Why?
Because we all live through the internet.
Yeah.
Back in the day without the internet, you actually had to talk to people.
Yeah.
You had to talk to people to date.
Yeah.
You had to approach a woman and have the courage to ask her out on a date.
Right.
But also you had to communicate. Like if you had some issues, you had to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But now,
okay, we have an issue, right? You're mad at me.
Yeah.
And I'm mad at you. Now, this girl, she's posting herself half naked online and you're sliding into her DMs.
Yeah.
So the issue, you might still be mad at me. So now you're behaving in a way because it's so accessible to you.
That's true.
And so the problem that was initially there is almost like, well, now something else has my attention and I don't really value fixing what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, should men, what's our topic?
Yeah, should men prove themselves to be worthy before sex?
Yes.
No, that's true. It's just a matter of communication. And I think that's one of the things you have to do before having sex, especially if you're looking for commitment. You guys have to talk about your expectations and your boundaries. I don't think people do that. I think what we do is we're not proactive, we're reactive. Well, we'll wait for them to break our boundary and then tell them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like we'll wait for them to start liking when the guys liking all these pictures of these random girls on social media. That's something that if you knew that was going to be a concern, that's how you should have brought up in the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
All right. Instead of waiting for him to start liking the pictures or just being nice. Oh, maybe he'll only this one time, but maybe he'll get out of that phase.
Right.
No, you have to communicate that externally. Like, no, this is a hard line for me. If you can't do that, then this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And I think compromise is one. I think she talked about on that video. That one of the biggest things that holds a relationship together is two people that are willing to compromise for each other. And if the person is willing to compromise something that he naturally didn't do or naturally doesn't do, that shows that you care.
Yeah.
When you really care about somebody, you start doing things that you never do.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you both wanted to make it to work. When one person when one individual is refusing to compromise, then you know for a fact you don't really want this to work. Because if you wanted it to work, then you would compromise.
Then it would work.
Yeah.
Because it's not hard.
Yeah, it's not hard.
It's really not hard.
Especially if the boundaries is reasonable.
Right. Right.
you know, if it's reasonable and he can explain and communicate it, like,
Mhm.
and I think that's one of the things we always talk about on the masculine podcast. Like, women want communication. Like,
Yeah.
if you tell a woman, I don't want you to post pictures online, you have to explain to her why.
Yeah.
You can't just tell her, don't post pictures online. Listen
Right.
to me. I'm the
Mhm.
man. That doesn't really go well.
Because I said what I
Yeah,
said.
because I said so. It doesn't really go well. It doesn't really translate over.
Right.
But you have to explain to me, you know, the reason why I don't want to post pictures online because I don't want other men to see, and these men are gonna come DM you, and you're gonna get unwanted attention, and then and also these guys are gonna screenshot your pictures and post in the other social media websites. You know, and you're
Yeah,
gonna have
all
a
type of things.
yeah, we're
can
gonna have,
happen.
we're gonna have a daughter. You know, I want to set a good example for our daughter.
Right.
So if I'm gonna tell my daughter to be conservative of how she dresses,
Right.
you're gonna be the example. She's gonna look at me. Well, you're telling me to dress this way, but how come mom is posting her body online?
Right.
So how are you gonna be able to deal with that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to explain all those things to a woman. But
yeah.
if she still doesn't get it after that, then maybe it's just not the one for you.
Right,
You're right.
exactly. And it depends on the woman too,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you have a woman that's a model or she a swimsuit model, I think I seen a thing about a guy who got mad at his model girlfriend for walking in the runway in a swimsuit because he was established now, right?
Yeah.
He had enough money to take care of both of them, but this was her career.
Yeah.
So, you know, why get with a woman who doesn't fit into what
your principles
desire?
Your principle values on the line.
Yeah. So now you're trying to completely change her.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, you need to find someone who is maybe 75 to 80% of what you want, and you can kind of work on the rest of it. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, see Prime on 8 always. I see you guys in the live chat. Thank you so much. And we just got one more video, and then we want to wrap it up for that. Okay. Do you know who Brittany Renner is?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Then you probably know what I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
To be wet.
Is it?
I've never been wet before, but yeah, I'm sure it's uncomfortable to be wet.
You know, moist is one thing, but wet is just another. It ain't what we shooting for. You know what I mean?
You ain't get what?
Isn't that
Miss Ma'am?
No.
No, come on, please. Come on, man, please.
No.
Come on,
I
man,
need you
please.
I need you to be kind and respectful to my guests. Where that pig poker at, man? Go ahead and get the pig poker out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I did nothing for that.
Oh man, please.
Oh, that's wait a minute. Miss Renner.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
All right. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like she put herself in a dangerous situation because, you know, men have testosterone, right?
Yeah.
And they could have reacted any kind of way. Then too, it's like, why would you get up and straddle him like that? Unwarranted. I didn't see if there was anything before.
I think they asked her a question. I think they criticized her for her behavior because obviously if people know who Brittany Renner is.
Yeah.
You know, she has a notorious past of being with a multiple high level men, right? Relationships with athletes, rappers,
right,
singers. So I think what happened was they said something or they criticized something about her and she didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she just responded that way.
Oh.
Yeah. I think for the pouring of the water, I think that was like disrespectful to those guys.
Yeah.
But I think for me is when I think women can tell certain men that they can't do that too, and certain men that they could.
Right.
And I think the way those guys were behaving, or maybe the way they would conduct themselves as guys, or in that podcast, it made her comfortable enough to know that I can disrespect these guys, and these guys are not going to do anything about it.
Yeah. But also, back to I always say, like, the person, right?
Yeah.
Like, she has a lot of trauma.
Oh yeah.
So
We all know she has it.
we
Yeah.
don't know really what her response is gonna be half the time.
Yeah.
But doing extreme stuff like that is just like, okay,
She needs
that's
help.
assault.
She needs help.
Yeah.
She really needs help.
Yeah. I mean, the water is like, okay, you could have destroyed the equipment, all type of things.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
could be really suing you, you
I
know?
know.
Then that other man, he could be married or whatever. Like, you're just jumping on
You
him.
talking about
Like,
oh no,
the
he's
guy
not. Oh
she
no, no,
straddled.
no, no. He's well known in the community. Yeah, on social media.
Oh,
But
okay.
but yeah, I don't know if he's married, but he has kids. But he talks about having relationships and having sex with all these women.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
okay, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, she might have been triggered by these guys and caused that reaction. But like, she has a kid now. Like,
Yeah, she's
you
a single
have to
mom.
move differently, you
It's
know,
tough.
because it's
And
like,
she has a big following too of girls that who look up to her.
yeah, yeah.
It's well, yeah, that's. Man, I really, I really hope she gets her. She gets help.
Yeah,
gets
she
help.
has a lot of trauma she needs to resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her though. I mean, who she used to be, at least. I didn't see this one
No,
recently.
I remember she was like one of the first Instagram models when Instagram started getting traction.
Right.
And I remember I used to see a lot of her content.
Yeah.
Early when I first started Instagram, I used to see a lot of her content.
Uh-huh.
And then lately when she became a mother and having children, and then her behavior recently, I was like, oh man, that's not a good look.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah, especially a single mom. So
Yeah.
man,
it's
and that's
all
on the
bad.
internet. That's always gonna be there.
Forever. I know.
Sheesh. I really hope that she has people in her circle that is gonna be really, really honest with her.
Yeah.
I doubt, because she's still behaving the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that there's people in the circle is just having that real honest conversation and not trying to say what she wants to hear,
Right,
but
right.
what she needs to
Yeah,
hear.
she's sick of everybody's stuff, it looks like.
And I know she has a bad relationship and perception towards men, because
Yeah.
all the men in her life has disappointed her and left her and had sex with her.
Right.
But and that's why she's a perfect example of why you should make men prove themselves to be worthy before sex.
Exactly.
Because every single man that you're gonna have sex with there's gonna be some kind of trauma between because you're gonna build some kind of connection with that man.
Uh-huh.
And then every single guy, you build a connection with him, he disappoints you.
Right.
You build a connection with him, he abandons you.
Mhm.
You build a connection with him, he leaves you for another woman.
Yeah.
You're just gonna accumulate so much disappointment, resentment,
Yeah.
and towards a man that is just gonna build up your whole entire life.
Right.
And then the man that's gonna be able to be with you, he has to overcome all that.
Yeah. I think it's like I say, like, the only thing permanent in life is change,
Yeah.
right? So you can vet someone, you could do all the work, and then they still disappoint you later on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just very important to be able to establish your own concrete self and know that, okay, I really want this to work, but if it doesn't, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to act, trauma, do certain things out of my character, start using drugs or whatever the case may be, just because this relationship didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they think that, like, for instance, even my mom, right? Like, my parents married for 40 plus years, and then my dad passed away. So now she's a widow. So now it's trying to cope with life as single, right? And trying to reestablish herself individually. And okay, how does she fit into this world now? Because she had him, he was like 8 years older than her. So, you know, it's like she had him for so long, and her routine is my dad and her, you know. But now that he's gone, it's like herself. Who was she outside of the relationship? She's rediscovering parts of herself that maybe she didn't really have to tap into so much because it was always a partnership between them. So yeah, I think after Brittany Rayner broke up with her son's father, she just been kind of like off the hook off
the rails.
Yeah, like she doesn't know who she is anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So that's
I feel for her. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm not gonna be what's the word? I feel for her. I feel empathy for her, but I don't feel sympathy because she's making those choices as a grown ass woman.
Right. She knows what she's doing.
She knows, she know what she's doing, twerking her ass like that.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
She's so all that.
I have empathy for her because she's a mom and she has a son, and that son is probably not gonna have the best person to lead him to become a man. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But she knows what she's doing, and everything that comes her way, that's a consequence of her choices.
Right.
So
I like her little bipolar videos. I was just thinking about that. She brought it up.
She's crazy.
She's so crazy.
Yo, it's
She used to be Harley Quinn a lot. Do you remember
what?
Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brittany Rayner used to always act like her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen videos of her just going on rants.
Yeah, she has a huge like alter ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like bipolar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there'll be some podcasts where she's very well spoken, soft, feminine, and then you have this. It's like extreme opposites. There's no middle ground for Brittany.
None. Yeah. None at all.
Oh my Lord. But yeah, anyways, we have come to the end of the podcast. Shout out to everybody that's watching right now.
Hey.
I see Primate. Always good to see you on the live chat, Primate. Thank you, man. We had a great conversation. I know usually we have a panel, but shout out to Savannah for coming on here, and
you're welcome.
it was just us as a duo, and just talking about the topic that we were discussing tonight about should men prove themselves to be worthy before sex. And I'm pretty sure you guys know where we stand after this discussion. But to everybody that follows me, thank you so much as always for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to follow my locals. I'm going to post my locals on the YouTube live chat right now. So that way, if you guys want to support me on there and also get perks and benefits from being an exclusive and supporting member, definitely click on that locals. Okay. And BL17, as always, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching this entire stream. And some of you guys, they watched the entire stream. They watched the entire conversation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm new here. Hey.
So appreciate you, Savannah, for coming in. And yeah, thank you for guys. Show some love to Savannah as well. But Savannah, what's some final thoughts? You know, your first podcast. Thank you for making the time to come all the way down here. You said you liked doing something new. This is definitely new.
Yeah, this is new. I enjoyed our conversation. Very professional. Great topic. I had a good time. Even the live stream people, I think, were being nice, so that's cool too.
Oh no, these are the nice ones.
Right.
So we had some we had some nice live streamers. The haters weren't here tonight.
Oh yeah, man, where they at?
Yeah, where you at, the haters?
Where y'all at? Y'all keep it going. No,
I know the haters are not here, which is good. It's good. It's the first time, so I'm glad they weren't here because they can be very very cruel and ritual on the live chat. But thank you for all the nice people on the live chat. You guys showed a great time for Savannah's first podcast. And let me just post the locals on the YouTube live chat. Give me 1 second, y'all. And I appreciate you guys watching the entire stream. And there we go. Just posting the live chat. And there we go. And my local story go. All right. All right, so I'm gonna post this on the live stream, on the YouTube live chat. Okay. All right. Oops. Give me 1 second, y'all. There we go. Finally. There we go. I just posted on the YouTube live chat. So if you guys are watching my locals right now, thank you so watching it right now. If you want to support my locals, definitely click on that link on the YouTube live chat and support my locals. But as always, thank you for always tuning in for the Saturday night shows where we always talk about dating and relationships. And make sure you guys subscribe so that way you get the notification when we do go live next Saturday. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.